Updates on Diddy running his jail cell. Basically, he's the king there. So let's go over it. Diddy has been placing secret phone calls, intimidating witnesses, and planning public relations strategy meant to taint the jury pool in his upcoming trial. All from inside a federal jail, argued prosecutors in a new memo. Prosecutors are paying no bullshit here. They want this guy locked up forever, and they're trying to find, looks like they found him manipulating things even in the jail cell that he's in. The 30-page memo was filed on Friday, November 15th, in response to Diddy's latest attempt to be granted bail. There is a hearing on the matter scheduled for next Friday, November 22nd, to see if he can get bail. The document claims that since Diddy has been incarcerated, he has used a variety of means to evade Bureau of Prisons monitoring of his communications in violation of jail rules so that he could make calls that evade surveillance and speak to people he wasn't authorized to reach out to. He's basically using inmates to help him do whatever he wants to do. His methods, the government claims, included using PAC, which is a phone access code, numbers belonging to other inmates to make calls, using three-way calls to contact other individuals, including individuals who are not on his approved contact list, and using unauthorized third-party communication system to send messages to numerous individuals, including unauthorized contacts. Part of the reason for this, the memo continues, was that so Diddy could plan a public relations strategy in order to influence the jury pool. Basically, public relations strategy is he wants the public to think of him very highly and as a good person. And he is going to do that. There's going to be a lot of money put into changing his image because right now a lot of people do not like him. They hate his guts. They think he's responsible for literally everything. Tupac's murder, potentially killing his wife, Kim Porter, all these things. The Shine shooting, they're thinking it's actually Diddy that did it. It wasn't Shine. Even Shine has a documentary that came out where, and we're going to be talking about this a little bit later in the podcast, where he talks about how he didn't take a $10 million bribe and it was all Diddy. He's the devil. So there's a lot of media out there destroying Diddy's image. And Diddy is going to work and put millions of dollars into making his image better. So that when the jury goes in there, because nowadays the jury is going to be influenced in one way or another. And the jury, obviously he wants the jury to be influenced in a positive way so that when they go in there and those 12 people make their decision on whether Diddy is guilty or not, they still see him in a positive light. So he's going to spend millions upon millions of dollars doing this. And why wouldn't he? It's just going to help his situation, and he's got the money to do it. As you can see in this whole thing that they filed, the prosecutors are saying he's influencing even the jail cells. He's getting people to get him to make calls that he's not supposed to make. So that's why I'm talking about like his manipulation tactics. That's why they didn't let him out. That's why the judge said, hey, I don't care, denied bond. Because imagine if he's doing this in jail, imagine when he gets out, how he could manipulate people, threaten people, all this stuff. Continuing on, it says the defendant is explicit about his intention to use public statements to alter public perception. The memo reads, it points in particular to a social media campaign around Diddy's birthday. Citing this post in particular, which the memo says the mogul enlisted family members to plan and execute at his carefully curated direction. The defendant from within the jail then monitored the analytics, i.e. audience engagement, and explicitly discussed with his family how to ensure that the video had his desired effect on potential jury members in this case. And I think they're talking about the happy birthday post and how, it just makes him look like a great person, blah, blah, blah. And they're saying he's using these social media posts specific times to make himself really look good. And he's looking at the analytics. Are people engaging with this a lot? If they are, and they're showing a lot of sympathy and love, that changes the perception of Diddy, right? The document also makes mention of Diddy's alleged relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse who could provide powerful testimony against him. The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimonial helpful to his defense. But this is what the prosecutors are saying, right? We don't know 100% if they got proof of this stuff. A lot of this stuff is speculation, like a social media post about his birthday to manipulate, public perception. Yeah, could that be a thing? Of course. But or it just could be a post about his birthday and he just doesn't care about the public perception, which I doubt it, right? Any celebrity at that high of a status has PR teams, has lawyers, has at least 30 people that look over what his image looks like in the public. And right now his image is destroyed. I want to say 70 to 80% of people do not like Diddy, period. The 20% that's there, there's always going to be people that like a certain amount of celebrities. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the person's done. I mean, there's still support for R. Kelly, despite all the evidence of this guy doing horrific things to females and underage girls. There's still people that support R. Kelly. Doesn't matter. Free R. Kelly, they say, all kinds of shit like that, right? Those are people that you're never gonna sway their opinion. When Diddy posted that video of him apologizing about the Cassie video coming out, there were people saying, we can't judge Diddy, this is only God's, thing, and this is his journey, and like, come on. And this is a female that said this. It wasn't even a male. Like a male, I would kind of expect a little bit, right? A little bit more. But the female was saying this, and she was like, you don't leave it up to God. Like, I don't leave things up like that to God. He put his hands on a female, beat the shit out of her. I don't care if you're drunk. I don't care what the excuse was. You do not do that, period. There's no excuse for it, period. And you'll get comments supporting, because people have an emotional attachment to some of these celebrities, right? Because these celebrities have been a part of their lives since they were young till now they're adults, right? Diddy's been around since the 90s till now. So a lot of us, including me, but not as much because I really wasn't that big of a fan of Diddy. I never watched Making the Band or any of his shit that he had. Did I listen to some songs? Yeah, there's like that song, Bump, Bump, Bump. I don't know. There's, I don't want to know, Mario Wayne's with Diddy. A lot of the stuff that Diddy was featured on. I liked a lot of the Last Train to Paris records, like I'm Coming Home and Hello, Good Morning. Like I would listen to some Diddy stuff, but it wasn't like a huge part of my upbringing in music. I never really gave a shit. Same with R. Kelly. Like, yeah, there's some stuff R. Kelly that I listened to, Ignition, singles, right? Slow Wine and all these type of records that were singles. Great. But, like I would have a good way to gauge, like for me, would be 50, right? If something happened with 50 or Eminem or the artist that I really grew up on and they did something, that's where, I could gauge how I would react to something. But even with 50, right, there was years ago, there's a report that he allegedly broke a bunch of stuff and his girlfriend, Daphne Joyce did that whole lawsuit stuff. That was a little spectacle, but I didn't really, there's really nothing, there's no proof, right? People can accuse you of things, and that's what I always stood with that when it comes to Diddy as well. There's no proof until the Cassie thing came out, right? I was still in the middle because, a lot of people can sue you for things, and until there's solid evidence, then you can't, there's no denying it at that point. And with the Cassie video footage of him putting his hands on her, that's solid evidence. And at that point I said, fuck this guy. There's nothing really more to discuss, right? So with if I saw Eminem, right, there's proof, right? Let's just say he made songs hating his mom, and then all of a sudden there's video proof of him beating his elder mom to a pulp and giving her bruises and damn near killing her, right? He's a piece of shit at that point. There's nothing to discuss. As much as I like the guy's music, as much as I grew up on him, I would be automatically, I'm never listening to this guy. I don't care about this guy's music anymore. That's how strong of a stance I would take. Does it suck? Is there an emotional attachment to that because I grew up with that person's music? Yeah, so I can understand some people kind of having this emotional attachment, but you got to realize, man, at the end of the day, this is a human being. You shouldn't be worshiping these people, these celebrities. You shouldn't be worshiping none of the stuff that they're doing. They're human beings. If they fuck up and do something wrong, you should treat them the same way as everybody else. But unfortunately, some people are stands, and they don't think like that. They think really, really, it's like a religion to them, some of these artists. They have to support them no matter what. But for me, unless I always am in the middle with any type of lawsuit, any type of thing relating to domestic violence and these type of things, rape and all this stuff, because there needs to be some type of evidence. There needs to be solid, because you can't just write people off. Doesn't matter on who it is, celebrity or not, just a regular person or not, right? I was watching some video footage on Dr. Phil, and this was a guy got locked up for, I think, 10 years, and this woman falsely accused him of rape. And on Dr. Phil, they're supposed to meet up again, so he got released. They're supposed to meet up again, and she wanted closure and him to forgive her. She came on the show crying. He was like, I forgive you after all these years, blah, 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 blah. Me personally, if I got falsely accused of rape 10 years of my life went away, and I got put on Dr. Phil, I would slap the dog shit out of her in front of everybody. I don't give a fuck. In front of the cameras. And they can say whatever the hell they want. I have the right. Nobody will be able to judge me on how I react to that. I don't give a fuck, because 10 years of my life down the drain because you falsely accused me of something. And there are a lot of cases like that don't get discussed, where people get falsely accused and years, decades of their life go to waste over something they did not do. So with these cases, that's why I'm very, very, I'm not saying I'm not believing the person, but I need some type of evidence, right? And with the Diddy situation, with the Cassie video coming out, that's as clear as evidence to me that he's done majority, not saying every single thing she's accusing him of, but majority, I'm willing to bet 80% of the stuff she's accused him of, he's done. And that's why I don't have this sympathy. I'm not in between. Once I got the solid evidence, hey, it's fuck this guy, and there you go. It's that simple. But yeah, the prosecutors are putting out so many things to make sure he doesn't get bail, and this is insane for him to be breaking all these jail rules, manipulating people in the jail, manipulating people outside, the public media, trying to make his image better, which he is going to do. That's what his lawyer is going to advise. That's what his PR is going to advise. They're going to put millions. So don't be surprised if when the date gets close to the trial, you start seeing more positive things about Diddy. Do not get surprised, because he will bribe people, and people will accept the $500,000, $250,000. I'll give you $1 million. They will accept this money, and they will try to make Diddy look as positive as possible, and say, oh, he's a family guy. That was a mistake with Cassie with that one incident at the hotel. He was under the influence. I mean, shit happens. Like, there's even some celebrities right now that are doing it. I don't know if they're getting paid or if they just genuinely believe that. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted and see what happens, man. I doubt he's going to get bail. The next upcoming hearing is Friday, November 22nd, so that's not really that far away. We'll see what happens.